AITA for abusing the bus stop chain so I don't miss my stop. I take a bus connection route on my way to work every morning. The public transport in my city in Southern California is not great, but I am lucky that this bus route works for me. It's been a few months since I started taking this route, and there's so many things I find annoying. Unlike buses I've taken before and the underground trains, buses don't announce the next stops outside of main stops. Second, buses don't stop at those other stops and will skip over unless someone pulls the chain for it to stop. I've even asked the bus drivers to help guide me, but most don't seem to like their job and are of no help really. I try to find ways to ensure I get to my stop without issues. I used Google Maps, the official tracking app, as well as actual map of the bus route, but online means it always shows me when I have already skipped my stop, and it's frustrating. There's no announcements or any main stops I can put a mental pin on my stop with, and the bus doesn't stop. I even try to check my surroundings, but I take the bus very early in the morning at 5:50 a.m. and it's still relatively dark outside. It's frustrating. So lately, when I have a fair idea where I am, I track minutes and seconds. I pull the chain. Most of the time, bus is forced to stop for like 5 seconds before resuming again, and I can generally tell the next stop is mine. I don't like doing this, but if I don't, I always miss it and have to walk 20 minutes to work when it would take me less than 3. Yesterday it happened again, and the bus driver called me out and was clearly annoyed with me. I apologized briefly, but I still don't know what the solution is.
Last year around this time, my friends and I planned a trip to Cancun Dream Nature Resort Spa. We all wanted to drink, eat, dance, relax on the beach with no kids. I'm the only one without kids, so I was really looking forward to spending time with just my friends to unwind. Every other trip before this was planned with the kids, but this time there would be no early bedtimes, no crying, no screaming, no sand in our drinks because kids think it's funny to throw sand. 1 week before the trip, one of the friends said she's bringing her 10-year-old. This woman can never tell her kid no. We had all warned her beforehand that if this happens, we weren't going to change anything. To say I was annoyed was an understatement, but I stepped it up. I still had 2 friends who were going child-free and had no intention of changing any plans. My 2 other friends and I drank. We ate amazing food, we danced all night, spent the day at the beach. The friend with the kid expressed her frustration about the rest of us doing what we wanted she couldn't. My response was pretty much, well, that sucks, but we're not going to change the entire point of this trip just because of your inability to tell your kid no. We invited her to do what we were doing multiple times, but her response was always, I can't, my kid wants to go. So there was definitely tension between the 3 of us and her the entire trip. When we were making our long way back home, all 3 of us got a really nasty message from her fiance, calling us bad friends. How dare we not revolve our entire trip around her and their kid. That she had a terrible time and it was our fault. I was like, pardon? That was pretty much the last straw for me. Now I never tell my friends how to parent their children, but their daughter is so nasty. She is so spoiled, like I stated earlier, has never been told no. So you can understand how entitled this child is. My other friends are a lot more reasonable when it comes to their children. Their children are polite, have a general understanding about boundaries, they behave really well for 8 to 10-year-olds. My text back to him was pretty much, we made these plans a year in advance. Expecting us to be fine with the fact that you guys dropped it on us that your child was coming a week before we were leaving, and then expecting us to change everything and cancel all of our plans because you guys can't tell your kid no, is not fair to us at all. That is a you problem, not ours. I'd understand if something came up and she had no choice but to bring her kid. Crap happens, people cancel. But that was not the case. Her fiancé was home the entire time, and her grandmother was looking forward to watching her granddaughter. But her kid freaked out about not being allowed to go on the trip, and they couldn't tell her no. Now her and her fiancé are super pissed. Were we in the wrong here? Am I the jerk for grounding my stepdaughter for selling my formal dress? I'm a 37-year-old female, have a stepdaughter, Amy, 16-year-old. Amy was looking for formal dresses, and I mentioned that I have my old formal dresses. She picked my old prom dress to wear, and she has kept it in her wardrobe since wearing it at prom. I don't fit in my old dresses anymore, and I kept them and some other clothes to hand down to my kids. However, I have 2 sons who aren't interested. Since my nieces are interested in my clothes, I plan to give them the rest once they were old enough to fit them. Amy left her earbuds in her sweatpants pocket and turned on the washing machine. When she asked for new ones, me and her dad told her to save up to buy new ones. She works part-time as she wanted an expensive brand new pair and not the wired earphones I had offered. Amy went to stay with her mom, and when she got back, she had the new earbuds she wanted, so I asked if her mom had bought them for her. And she said she had resold my dress on a secondhand site and bought herself the earphones. The dress is 100% silk, one of a kind, and the brand doesn't exist anymore. I was really upset to hear she had sold my dress without even asking. I confiscated her earbuds and told her I would give them back when she repaid me the cost of what she sold the dress for. My husband thinks I am being too harsh, as I wasn't explicit on whether I was lending or giving her the dress. Amy has gone to live with her mom since and thinks I am being unfair. I am not sure if I have taken it too far and if I should stand my ground. Am I the jerk for ordering alcohol? I'm currently on a solo trip in Tenerife, all-inclusive to save having to look for places to eat by myself. The hotel has club-style seating, meaning that all tables are tables of 8 and people get sat together. Apparently, it's to encourage a sense of community and conversation. Last night, I was seated first and had a glass of wine. A family of 5 got seated at my table, 2 adults and 3 children. The mother turned to me and said, "We do not wish to expose our children to women drinking alcohols." I smiled and said, perhaps they should ask to move tables if it was an issue, but I would be drinking the wine. They noticed I was on my own and made passive-aggressive comments about this. I went up to get food, and on return, the wine had disappeared. A waiter came over and asked to see my wristband for the all-inclusive and said the family had told them I was underage and must have sneaked away from my parents. He was very apologetic and returned with a fresh glass of wine just as the family came back with their food. Am I the jerk for then requesting the waiter brought me the full bottle along with a couple of shots of vodka? The family stormed out the restaurant when I drank the shots as they arrived at the table. Am I the jerk for refusing to go to my sister-in-law's baby shower and the rest of the family is following? This started soon after my brother married Ruby. At the time, everyone seemed to really like her, and my older sister and I were part of her bridal party. Her wedding was around 5 years ago. Soon they were talking about trying for kids, and they were struggling with infertility issues. Ruby was quite upset, but it got a lot worse when my older sister, she was 26 at the time, got pregnant. Ruby was snappish and mean to my oldest sister, and people tried to be very mindful since she was struggling. When the baby was born, Rudy didn't send anything. I got pregnant my senior year of college. It was an oops baby, and I only told my mom because I was unsure what to do. I was a heavy drinker at family events, and when I wasn't drinking, my grandma joked I must be pregnant, and my face gave it away. That is how it came out. I didn't plan to tell the family like that. Ruby, in short, lost her shit at me. She yelled at me about how I don't deserve a kid and called me a lot of names. My mom tried to make her stop, but she yelled at her also and told my mom she deserved the stillbirth she had. The whole thing was horrible. When I gave birth and I posted pictures online, she made a post saying some people don't deserve kids. She has not apologized. The issue, Ruby is pregnant and she is having her baby shower. All the women in the family got an invite. I talked to my mom about it and decided not to go. My mom is also not going, and everyone seems to be following my lead on this. We all RSVP'd no, and my brother called me asking me to come. I told him no, and it started an argument. He says his wife has been crying about being hated by the family and want everyone to make up. I told him that isn't my problem and this is her fault. He wants me to suck it up and come still and has texted me multiple times about it. I know if I don't go, no one else will, especially since my mother hates Ruby after that argument.